and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate and I am back bringing you the top 10 scary stories that will make you question your reality. Now this is part 3. Danny did part 1 and while he is the ultimate storyteller, he has moved on to pastures new and I am continuing his legacy by keeping this series alive. Don't worry, Danny Burke has not died. He's still out there telling scary stories, so you should go find him. Or I'll tell him you said hi, but for now I continue bringing you the spooks. If you like them, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Check out the links to our most amazing Instagram in the description box and stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to be reading out some comments. Alright, coming in at number 10 we have Say My Name. Have you ever thought that you've heard someone saying your name around you but you look around and there's nobody there? If so, you aren't alone. 6 years ago a Redditor posted, "Occasionally when I'm alone in the house I swear I've heard my dad shout my name or something, but when I go to investigate, there's no one there. I'm not sure if I'm being punked or what, but it's just kind of weird." And then, just 26 hours ago, Lona740 posted on the Glitch in the Matrix subreddit saying, "I'm not sure if anyone else experiences these kinds of things, but it's a pretty normal occurrence for me. The area around me doesn't matter, although it usually happens when I'm zoned out in a crowd. But I can hear someone say my name in a very calm voice. The voice is always familiar, but oddly different each time and I can't remember exactly how it's said or what I was thinking before. It's really odd, but I've grown into it and just look around to see if anyone's actually calling my name." I've honestly definitely had this experience too. It doesn't happen to me loads, but I can absolutely remember being in my old high school gym and swearing blind that when I moved the mats they said "Bex" to me like that, just like that. It was really, really freaky. I did not like it. Why are you saying my name, Mats? Coming in at number 9, we have French. Bonjour et bienvenue dans la top 10 plus incroyable. Je suis votre présentatrice Rebecca Felgate. Tu parles français? Non? Oui? I'm just messing with you and probably not very well if you're French, I apologize. But what would you do if someone around you inexplicably started speaking fluent French or any other language? And what's more, you joined in, even though you don't speak that language. Weird, right? What a mind melt. There have been strange incidences of people dreaming in languages that they do not usually speak or understand, but they have perfect clarity. Now stranger still, some people have even reported this happening in real waking life. I found 2 stories on Reddit. Witty Repost wrote, "Several years ago I woke up in bed next to my now ex-girlfriend and we had a conversation in fluent French. I got up and got in the shower and as the water started running, I realized that neither of us spoke French. When I got out I asked her about it and she remembered it happening too, but she was as confused as I was. I can't even remember what it was that we talked about because I don't speak French. Brains are weird." Now someone replied to that comment with their own similar experience. Now this was really, really weird to read. They said, "I have a similar story. I was in Paris on Christmas Eve doing a Contiki tour and I was in a nightclub, absolutely blackout drunk and jumped into a taxi with one of the girls from the tour. She came up to me in the morning telling me that she was very impressed with my French. She said that she was so impressed that I spoke French so fluently. After I told her that I don't know how to speak French, she told me that I'd had a 30-minute conversation in fluent French with her and the taxi driver. It blew me away, but she was so adamant that it had happened. Weird. My actual dad was in a coma for 3 months and woke up with an American accent, so I do think brains are pretty strange." Coming into number 8, we have The Comet. So this story comes from a night out I had with my friend Haley, who used to work as a producer here on Most Amazing Top 10. So we went to an amazing night hosted by Hendrix Gin and they had all kinds of curious and mystical things there. They had a theremin player, a hot air balloon, a magician, a piano with cucumbers for keys, and of course gin on tap. But what they also had was a tarot card reader. Believe what you want, but this card reader was said to have been hired by Beyonce in the past, so I was pretty excited to talk to her. So was Haley. I sat and listened to what she had to say to Haley. Now she told her that in a previous life she'd been a comet, and she was absolutely adamant about this. Now, if you knew Haley then you'd believe it. I don't know, something in the way that she was just so certain about it was really strange to me. She said she could see her there flying through space, super determined. Again, call it what you want, but for me, like, it was very, very weird. It did make me question a lot of things. What did she say about me? She said that I'm a source of joy for my friends and that I'll live a very abundant life. She also told me I need to go to Japan to reconnect with my past life, so here's hoping. Coming in at number 7, we have the COMA. For some reason this story actually really stuck with me. I mentioned it recently in a video I did about parallel universe theories, and I'm still thinking about it now. The story comes from a post 7 years ago on Reddit by Tempt2 Sassoon, and it actually really stirred something in me. So basically, the writer wrote that they were involved in an accident. They were beaten up and knocked down to the pavement, and they were unconscious for a period of time. They said that they were only unconscious for several minutes, but during those few minutes, they lived 10 years of a different life. The guy said he met a woman that he loved, they had 2 children, and they were happy. But one day, strangely, he noticed that something was wrong with the lamp in his living room. It was melting and contorting in some way. He said it was after 3 days and after some conversations with his worried wife that he came to the realization that actually, the lamp wasn't real. Now he said it started to invert and distort in his vision and his perspective, and then he said he was filled with pain, super pain. The lamp was moving and twisting and disappearing, and then all of a sudden, he awoke from his period of unconsciousness. He realized that the 10 years that he spent with his wife and children weren't real. He'd been on the pavements for minutes. He dreamed it all up somehow, but he spent the next 3 years in a state of severe depression, grieving the loss of a wife and children that were real to him, but he realized had never existed. He thought he was going insane. He said, "I've had many people personal message me describing similar experiences. Some people have said that these experiences are impossible, but I'd say, actually, do you know what? We don't know everything about the human brain." Honestly, to me this story makes me question a lot of things, and there are a lot of weird coma stories out there that make me think maybe I don't really know what's going on. Okay, next up, this is a story that comes from my mum, or more specifically from my mum's friend. I never got to meet her because she died before I was born. This is her story. Coming into number 6, we have the yellow car. When my mum was 18, her and a couple of her girlfriends decided to have their fortune told for a laugh. They thought it would be a fun and mystical thing that they could do and just have a little giggle about later. Anyway, they all went in one by one. My mum was told that she would have 2 children, and one of them would stay close to home and the other would travel the world. Her friend Sue was told that she would marry a man from Spain. But Kathy didn't get the good news that she was hoping to hear. Kathy, really sadly, was told that she would die in a yellow car. Now, I'm told that most seers wouldn't be so specific in this day and age, because can you even imagine being on the receiving end of that kind of news? My mum and Sue tried to comfort Kathy, and they said it of course was total nonsense. And she was like, you know what, maybe it is. How can someone honestly really tell you how you're going to die? Anyway, as Kathy got older, despite her kinda thinking it was a bit silly, she would never, ever get inside a yellow car. Her encounter with the seer had actually, honestly and truthfully, really stuck with her. Her friends would joke and say things like, well, what if you buy a pre-owned car that has been sprayed, but really underneath it was yellow and it would make her super paranoid. In the end, Kathy did get married, and her husband found the whole thing very ridiculous. He was a realist, and he convinced her to face her fear by buying a yellow car. In the end though, she thought, enough is enough. I'll do it. I'll do what he says. This is ridiculous. Well, I guess you can see where this story is going. You know what happened. She and her car were fine, until they weren't. Around 2 years into owning this yellow car, she slid off the road into a river. She drowned inside that yellow car, just like her fortune teller had predicted. Honestly, kinda gives me shivers. Also giving me shivers at number 5, we have the wow signal. The wow signal is not necessarily one of those things that makes me question my reality outright, but makes me question life beyond my reality. Day to day, I think about my job and my friends and my aspirations, what I'm eating, whether or not I get enough exercise. Now, while I do think about life beyond our own planet more so than the average person, I don't really tend to think about what it would be like if aliens did contact us. Like, really, I don't know what that would be like, because actually, that really would change things. So with that in mind, think about this. The wow signal was recorded in 1977 by the Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope. Now, it was a strange and unexpected signal that lasted for 72 whole seconds, and it was so impressive and interesting that the astronomer listening to the radio signals, Jerry R. Emmon, wrote "wow" in the notes beside the data, which is how it got its name. Now, according to most astronomers, the wow signal is one of the strongest candidates for being an actual message sent to us by aliens. Have a listen to 10 seconds of it and tell me what you think. Okay, so it just kind of sounds like weird sounds to us, but we don't know what that means. We don't know what we're listening to. Perhaps it is aliens saying something to us. Speaking of aliens, at number 4 we have the alien hijack. It's 1977. You're watching television, but then this happens.
Execution of all captured prisoners of war, allowing Europe to stay from negotiations, being arrested. In Australia, Mr. Kerry Packer's cricketers are still...
What's going on? You bang the box a bit. You're like, what's this signal? What's going on? People used to bang on boxes in those days because TV was analog and not digital, and sometimes signals would just get interrupted. After a while of banging, this happens.
This is the voice of COMA, representative of the HIJACK Galactic Command, speaking to you.
Hi there, Verillion. So Verillion is said to be an alien from the Ashtar Galactic Command, and he hijacked a southern television broadcast via the Hannington transmitter of the Independent Broadcast Authority in the UK at 5 PM on November the 26th. Now the time zone of the alien is unknown. I am kind of assuming Verillion's gender here, so please excuse me, but I'm going with he. He said, all of your weapons of evil must be removed, and you have but a short time to learn to live together in peace, or you must leave the galaxy. This is our message to our dear friends. We've watched you growing for many years, as you too have watched our lights in your skies. You know now that we are here, and that there are more beings on and around your Earth than your scientists admit. We're deeply concerned about you and your path towards the light, and will do all we can to help you. Now the broadcast interruption is generally considered to be a hoax, but we still don't actually know where it came from. If I was watching Southern TV on that wintry night, I would truly have begun to question my reality outside of my world. Maybe scientists and the government do know more than they're letting on. Does J.K. Rowling know more than she's letting on? We have Dementors at number 3. So this is a scary sight, and it appeared over a mall in the city of Kitwe in Zambia. The cloud formation, to me, looks like a Dementor swooping down to suck out my soul, and I'm saying, do you know what? J.K. Rowling called it. I think I'd crack out my Patronus and hope for the best. It's a dapple grey mare, by the way. The scary image in the clouds was around 100 meters long and looked over a shopping center in the city for 30 whole minutes. Now eyewitnesses said that some people even started worshipping the cloud formation because they thought it was a manifestation of God. Others, like I perhaps would, ran away. Was it an angel? Was it a ghoul? Was it a ghost? Was it a higher message from some strange being? Okay, we've got more sky-related drama. Bending the mind at number 2, we have the city in the sky. Is it a parallel universe? On October 2015, in 2 separate cities in China, a strange mirage appeared in the sky. It very much looked like a city. The first incident occurred in Foshan in the Guangdong province, and the second was in Shaanxi. Both strange occurrences were caught on camera and bore striking resemblances to one another. Now from the pictures taken, it clearly to me looks like a modern day city has just popped up and appeared in the sky, and I wouldn't know what to do if I saw that. So what is going on? Is there a scientific explanation for it? Well actually, there is. It could be an optical illusion called Fata Morgana. This is where distant objects are distorted and inverted via a process of light refraction through smog or heat haze. Others say that it's actually a clear sign of a parallel universe overlapping with ours. Once again, I have to say seeing this would make me question my reality. Okay, this always sticks with me. It's something I've seen a lot here on Most Amazing Top 10 and I've put in a lot of videos, but it is always relevant and always really crazy. We have the disappearing car at number 1. So a lot of you may have already seen this seemingly unexplained video. Every single time I look at this footage, I have a lot of questions. Now it was allegedly caught on Russian police officers' dash cam and features what I can only describe as a time traveling car. Is this proof that time travelers are real? I mean, to me, like I don't necessarily believe in it, but it looks like it, which makes me question, again, so many things. Let me stop talking and actually show you the footage so you can join me on the freak out here. So the footage starts as the car is turning left, and we can see the traffic at a standstill on the right, and all of a sudden a car is like boom out of nowhere, and I mean literally nowhere. I've watched this over and over again, and I do not understand where this car came from, unless it's like a clever Photoshop video trick, but I don't know if it's not. I've got more questions. questions. This video was uploaded by Rose Adams on YouTube and has had over 1 million views, and by the looks of the comments, a lot of people were just as confused as me. Can you explain it? Let me know. Okay, so that was the top 10 scary stories that will make you question your reality, part 3. Do you want a part 4? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before I go, I'm just gonna read some comments from one of my previous videos. The Big Joe Bowski said, "How did I not know? Danny was a true Burkish delight, almost as awesome as yourself, Rebecca. Man, I'm gonna miss him. I guess I'll tune into his channel. Keep up the awesome work." Do it! Do it! But in the meantime, I'm here to bring you the spooks. Flabby Khan said, "Miss Felgate, may you bring back Danny Burke for at least one video in his spare time. I'd also like you to do a video together as you're two of my favourite hosts." We had 3 years to watch videos of us together, but there are some. Maybe we should make a playlist of some of the collabs that we've done. Hopefully I'll be doing more videos with Landon, Eamon and Che in the future too. Have you guys watched Che's first video? We did one together a couple of weeks ago and I really enjoyed it. So I know that you love all of the hosts, old and new, so keep on showing your support for the channel. You can show me right now by leaving a thumbs up and sharing this video with a friend. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate and I'll see you soon. Bye!